everyone. Happy March. I hope you are doing well. Okay. I don't know why I'm being led to do this. I've not done it before. I've never been led to do it before. So there must be a reason for this. I'm going to throw a regular energy for all of us, and then I'm going to do the signs. So you're going to see this before every video, and I'm going to say I'll timestamp it behind me when I'm done, where the actual video starts, so you don't have to watch this for every single video, okay? But I think it's important for some reason, and I think the energies are intense, but you know what? It's just life. We go with what it is, but when we can be better prepared for the things that come up, we don't make mountains out of molehills. We don't say things we can't take back. We don't blow something up when, in fact, we have to, then go back and try to figure out why I did that and hope that something comes back together, right? So that's kind of the energy that I'm feeling, and it's coming out in the cards too. Okay, we've got Unity is the card, right? And we've got the Knight of Cups. We've got the Four of Cups, and we've got the Sun card. Okay, what I really feel here is, for some of you, I want to caution you against making something out of nothing. And don't think I'm discounting something here. I think that for some of you, you've got a little reminder here that you've got valuable things sitting right in front of you, and you may want to tend to those. For others of you, I think you're realizing that, maybe a situation that you're in isn't what you thought it was. You know what I mean? I think for some of you, you've got people coming into your life right now that are going to be valuable assets to you in some regard or another. For some of you, they're romantic relationships. For some of you, they're friendships. For some of you, they're business partnerships. But I think they're a reminder of there's different ways to do things, and you could maybe learn something here. You know what I'm saying? There's an air through here of not kind of throwing the baby out with the bathwater. You may not initially like this person at one time. You know what I mean? Like, their first impression may be something that sets you back, or that you can't really figure it out. It just doesn't sit well. It's not an instant attraction on any regard. But I think that in further, getting to know this person a little better, or maybe watching what they're really doing, or, I think there was someone that I was watching recently, and I could not get past the antics of his mannerism, right? It was just, it was just uncomfortable, but his content was really good. So once I could get past that, initially, had I not stopped long enough to really listen to what he was saying, I would have been like, oh my gosh, this guy is way too unsettling. His antics were just they weren't a good match for mine. So I thought, right? But I sat for a minute, and I was really continuing to listen more to what he was saying than how flamboyant he really was. And I'm glad that I did, because he was a wealth of knowledge. So that is kind of the scenario that I'm going at here. For others of you too, I think that you may have things that have been bubbling under the surface that maybe you haven't dealt with, or again, when we don't deal with the little things, I kind of don't agree with, don't sweat the small stuff, because the small stuff becomes the big shit that hits the fan when we don't tend to it, right? So these are things where I think some of you have relationships coming in. I think for some of you, I'm going to hit the relationship aspect first. For some of you, I think you may come into contact with someone who's not exactly what you thought they would be. You know what I mean? Like, you're wishing and hoping, and whatever that song is, for this particular type of person. They have to look this way and talk this way and right? I think what may show up for you is someone completely different, but it's what you need, not necessarily what you thought you wanted. And I think that it could be something really spectacular. Okay, for others of you, you're being reminded that we're kind of all the same. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, when push comes to shove, we're kind of all the same kind of people. So you're being reminded of that, and to not. I've got to be honest. I don't have a wonderful feeling behind things that might come up globally this month. I think there's just a lot of unsettled energy. And the issue I've got here really is don't follow false things. If you hear something, check it out. Make sure that it's legit. You know, I have a feeling like the news crews and stuff like that, they're really going to kick up the crazy shit that they're doing anyway, right? So if you're someone who follows the news like it's, you know, whatever, I would be really careful about what you're getting. I'm not saying they're going to be lies or conspiracy theories or whatever the hell it is that they do anyway. I'm not a fan of the news, as you can tell. But I think it's not helping the cause. I think it may divide people and cause really devastating circumstances. You know what I mean? You don't want to, I just feel like this kind of energy is kind of like the major things in life, in history that have passed, that have taken place. And they've taken out a lot of people just for having different opinions, just for looking different or acting different or having a different culture or religion or something like that. You know what I mean? Who gives a shit if someone is different? It has really nothing to do with you. But this is where I'm saying on a smaller scale, this could hit your home in the fact that, you know what, you blow up at a partner because you had a crappy day at work, but you say things that you can't take back. You know what I mean? They may be true, but your delivery may not be something they'll forget. You know what I mean? And that's like kind of breaking your leg. It'll heal, but it'll never quite be the same again. And then the person may be afraid to talk to you about things. You could start something here that you can't finish. You know what I mean? So you may just want to be cautious. That's why I'm saying this. You've got the Sun card here. So it's a reminder that, you know what, see the good in someone and ask your peeps, ask your peeps around you. Look, I may not be at my best, so I'm going to do my best to, but just, you know who I really am. Give me a little bit of wiggle room here because I may not be at my best. And I think it's just these energies that are passing through, and they will. You know what I'm saying? I just think they're a little bit intense. What I'm feeling is like, again, trying to turn a cruise ship in a bathtub. It's going to take a little bit. You know what I mean? So let the things play out. Really cherish the people that are in your life that are of value to you. Really look at the ones that, I know that sounded terrible, but look at the ones that, you know what, maybe there's an expiration date here that's been presenting itself for a little bit. Because what I feel here is, for some of you, it's taking into consideration the gifts that you've currently got. You know what I mean? And for others of you, it's saying here, if you're staying in something because you're afraid this is the best you can get, you've got something coming in around the corner here that could be something really happy for you. You know what I mean? So we need to let things go when it's time for them to go. And that's what I feel. And I think with the Unity card, what it's coming in here to remind you of is that don't be stubborn in certain ways. Don't let people be stubborn in certain ways. Say things maybe a little bit more simply. We've got, you know, Mercury retrograde. It is a big deal. I find it to be a really big deal. And I know people are saying that we go through this a lot, and we do. But look at the times in your life where you say things or you do things where you're like, what the hell was that out loud, and why did I do it? They're big things. You know what I mean? So we can't discount them. So just be conscious of what you're saying. Value the people that are in your life, and take a survey. And it's not just, you know, it's your belief systems too. It's the things you believe in. It's you know, maybe changing things. You know, when you go through your whole life believing something, whatever, and then you come to a point in your life where you're like, you know, I really don't believe this anymore. I really don't want this anymore. I really don't want, you know, I'm evaluating something. Give yourself the space to do that. You know what I mean? Don't poo-poo it or speed over it or not think about it or make that a small thing that can be dealt with later, because that small thing turns into a big thing. You know what I mean? And look at these things. For some of you, you know, the Knight of Cups is kind of just saying to you here, it is an actual person for some of you. And it can be a woman. It's not gender specific. But it's like, kind of, you know, don't be, love is blind, but we're also blind to it. You know what I mean? So don't look a gift horse in the mouth. If you've got someone in your life who you really care about, tell them you really care about them. You know what I mean? Don't assume that they're going to be there, you know, in 10 days and they know that I work really hard. They know that I'm never home. Don't assume that that's okay. You know what I mean? They may just not be someone who really speaks up, but you know, you come home one day and there's the note on the table and they're gone. I see things like that happen in these energies. That's why I'm trying to point these things out here. Cherish the people that are in your life. You know, take responsibility for yourself and the things that you do and that you say, and let other people know that they're appreciated. And if you need something from someone else, speak up about it and see where that goes. You know what I mean? I think that it's a time where a lot of things are changing. I think it's a time where if we let go of things that we know we need to let go of, amazing things sit right in front of us, okay? The Sun card here is a yes card. So whatever you're showing up to your reading for, the answer is most likely yes, right? This card, the Sun card, what I'm really feeling off of it is it's kind of like, again, seeing the good in someone, even if they don't see it yet in themselves. You know what I mean? Like someone may need to grow into a better version of themselves, but you see that in them, right? And you're kind of just holding space for this person. I'm not saying be used and abused and not, you know, I'm not saying stay in a situation because you see how someone could be, right? There's a big distinction between that and what I'm saying. I'm saying that this is something that, you know, the relationship isn't there. The person is not, you know, they're not tanked right now. You know what I mean? Like they're not being an idiot now is what I'm saying. They're not disrespecting you. They're not disrespecting the family. They're not disrespecting, you know, whatever it is. I'm saying that they're just not up to par yet, but you see sometimes relationships really are just holding space for each other. You know what I mean? That's why I'm not a big advocate of getting stuck on these soulmates and these twin flame things. To me, and how I know our soul evolves, to me, I don't believe in that. I think we have a lot of soulmates. You know, I think we have souls that cross our paths for different reasons at different times. I don't think we have one, but I think that people are looking for that one love, which is already yourself. But to get to know that, it needs to be triggered by someone else. Many different soulmates, right? But some are more intense. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm going here. But this is the dynamic where I think we're really going to be seeing things. We're really going to learn a lot about ourselves if we choose to, right? I think for some of you, you've got opportunities also that are going to be sitting right in front of you. Don't be so, don't poo-poo things that could really turn into opportunities for you. You know what I mean? Like explore things. Don't do the hierarchy thing. And that's what I kind of think the Unity card is coming in with, that we're all kind of the same at the end of the day. You can learn things. Like I was giving you that example about that person that I was listening to. He was a wealth of knowledge. He was a little flamboyant though, a little bit more than, so I just had to look away, but I was listening and I got the content that I needed. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of the scenario that I'm going here. And I think that it's a great month. I don't think it's a month though really to act on things. Like if you're going to put the kibosh to something or put like a, you know, the end on something, I would wait. Because we've got a lot of planets here that are, things may not be what they appear to be. There's nothing, you can't really lose anything by waiting a little bit until these things calm down. All right, so that's all I'm saying. It's kind of like when a new model of a car comes out or something, they'll always say to you, wait a year to see what the glitches come up in that car, and so that you can get a better version of it. So just sit back and see, but taking what I'm saying and give yourself ample time here to say, you know what, I have worked with this person. I have, you know, I can see a vision here. Maybe we could work together. Maybe, you know, two heads merging something is better than one. Maybe we can work together. Maybe we do things different, but our goal is we have the common goal. You know what I mean? It can be things like that too. So again, we grow through relationships. So this could be on any platform for you. Okay. But I think that there's opportunities here that could so easily be missed, and opportunities here that can't be seen yet because you're under things that need to be cleared out. So that's what I've got for our overall energy. Let's see what we've got here. Hi Taurus, happy March. I hope you're doing well. Okay. Watch the Aries reading if you choose. They had strength in their reading as well, and it was it's a lot of internal stuff. This is the third reading that I'm doing, and I can feel a lot of internal stuff that's coming out. So that's a good thing, okay? It doesn't always feel good, but these are the big things, the big purging things that kind of set you free, right? Kind of when, you know, you can't cram 10 pounds of crap in a 5-pound bag, right? Like these things come home to roost at a certain point, and I think they're doing it now, okay? So you've got the talisman. You are destined to succeed. So if you need a reminder, look back and here you go, or even, you know, freeze frame this and or screen shoot it here and put it on something for yourself. Okay, you're destined to succeed here. Now you've got endurance also. Okay, you've got good cheer, expansion. Ooh. And your three tarot cards are Strength, the 10 of Swords, and the 2 of Swords. Strength, 10 of Swords, and the 2 of Swords. I'm going to say in here, for some of you, you've got to find your own way of communicating, expressing yourself in whatever that means to you. Okay, you've got 3 cards in here that speak of letting go of some sort of relationship in here in your life, something that is new people coming in, but you've got to deal with things and allow the room for that to come in, okay? I think for some of you, you're grieving something. For some of you, you're in relationships of whatever form that are making you extremely unhappy. And it's time, the cards are saying, to let those go. It's also reminding you that there's a time we have to give things their due process, right? So if you're grieving something, you've got to give it its due. But you've also got to remember that, you know, sadness teaches us things, but we've also got to have laughter in our lives, right? Like if one part of your life is going through, you know, an overhaul, so to speak, remember that you've got other places in your life that are happier places. You know what I'm saying? So don't bring, you know, kind of keep this where it needs to be and deal with it. But it's also a reminder that you need to have some happiness and some joy in your life. There's also, you know, endurance is it's a card that goes through, just wasn't in a place where it was happy and it sucked the life out of, you know, the person. And it's reminding you that you've got resilience, you've got, you know, springs of energy in here, vitality, reserves that come to life here. You've just got to embrace them and start maybe doing those things. Again, the Strength card in here and the 10 of Swords and the 2 of Swords is it's the choices that you make in life and the opportunities that present themselves. You know what I mean? You either take advantage of them or they pass you by, one of the two. But either way, it's like to be or not to be, right? That's the question. And the 2 of Swords is about finding peace in your life. Even in the midst of something going on, you can still keep peace in your mind, body, soul if you choose to. You know what I'm saying? And the 10 of Swords are their doubts. They're the doubts that, what does it say? Our doubts are traitors. You know what I mean? It's kind of where we sell ourselves short. We can't do this. I can't do this. And then we end up doing nothing. You know what I mean? But you've got a card in here that says you're destined to succeed. You know what I mean? So I think that change is coming in here. Now, this is a card, too, of... it's a card that, you know, he sees the... it's kind of about letting something stay like this or come to you like this, opposed to strong-holding something. So if there's a relationship in here, example would be where you're feeling like you've got to stronghold something or it's going to get away. This is just saying that that's not the way to keep something. In the scenario here, what is going on is she doesn't want to do something. She doesn't want to commit to something. And he knows that he's gonna let her come to the decision on her own. You know what I'm saying? He could very easily overpower her, but he doesn't. He could very easily have said something to embarrass her, but he didn't. He let her come to her own devices on her own, and she kind of, you know, she succumbed to what was going to happen, but it came in an organic kind of way. There was no overpowering here. There was none of this. It was like this. You know what I mean? And in its due time, it came to be. You know what I'm saying? So that's strength. Strength is quiet. It's not power playing someone, right? So that could be happening in here too, where, you know, you're up against something that you think you're not going to win. So you may be coming at it in a different area, right? So this is just saying you might be going through something, say in a relationship, say you're going through something in your relationship. You're being reminded that there's other parts in your life that are happy. So to balance those two out and let this work itself out in its own way. You know what I mean? If you're coming up against another person and you're giving an ultimatum here, example would be, that might not work in your favor. But if you realize that things are destined to succeed and that we grow and learn through relationships, maybe just lead by example. You know what I'm saying? Going about your life being, you know, having this on you, yes, because you're experiencing it, of course, but realizing that there's also joy in your life too. You know what I mean? And resilience and you know, expansion. Again, like I say, you've got 3 cards in here that speak of, you know, relationships in your life of all kinds that are outgrown. You know what I mean? They're not growing, but you've got expansion here. You've got new people in your corner. You're destined to succeed. You've got happiness, and you've got to remember the heart thing. Open your heart. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that's just in the midst of a crap storm, just keeping a smile on your face. Just force yourself to keep a smile on your face, and before you know it, you will start to feel better. That I assure you. Okay, but this is about, you know, really, if you're thinking this will never come together, this person will never come around, they'll never see my way of thinking about it, they will. You've just got to let people sometimes come to their own vices in their own way. You know what I mean? Because these are lessons sometimes that you can't teach another person. They need to go through this so that the lesson is sustaining. You know what I mean? And sometimes relationships are just about teaching people. You know what I mean? It's just by leading by example, being a good, happy person, right? That could make someone really want to be more like you. So maybe you're thinking about, you know, teaching or writing or doing something, changing a story. Again, this seems to be the platform. Change the story that we're telling ourselves and we're selling ourselves. Change it to a tool that helps other people. If you've been through a crappy divorce, or you've been through something in the job front, or some kind of whatever, and it's really taken you down, give it its due, but then use it as a tool, as a platform to help other people. That's kind of the energy we're in here. And again, you're destined to succeed. So if you're thinking, I could really write a book about this, I could, you know, teach about this, I could start a YouTube channel about this, you know, people can really use to know sometimes that they're not alone, that they're not the only one dealing with something like this, that there are a slew of other people. It's just, like I said, I think in Pisces or Aries, we all have a private hell. We do. We just don't broadcast it, you know? And that's what it is. But this is about expansion. You are expanding. But to go through that and to step up, you need to experience some things like this. But this is a great reading. And it's saying that opportunities are coming to you. And even in the midst of anything, we can keep our calm resolve about us, right? And that's what it is. So that's what I've got here. I think for some of you, this is on the relationship front. You're going to need to let to someone, instead of just harping on something perhaps over and over and over again, just realize that this person will get it when they get it. And it may be, you know, while you're still there, or it may be a place where you've done it too long and now it's time where you're going to just go on to your own. So if you think too also that you don't have it in you to start your life over again, I assure you, you do. And that's what this card is really saying. You know, I let someone suck the life out of me, or something, a situation suck the life out of me, but you know what? I've got a reserve in here and I'm going to build on that, and you will. So maybe this month is a month where you want to assess all of this and get something, you know, back into your routine to get your vitality back. But you are expanding. You will have joy and happiness here, and you will be successful. Okay. Again, if you're thinking, this card too does end well in the story. It does end well. They end up together, but he lets her see how immature she's being through her own actions, and he doesn't humiliate her. He lets her learn these lessons on her own, and she stays of her own will. So if you're going through something like that, there you go. Okay, so again, don't have doubts here about something, because they'll get the worst of you. You'll have a whole story concocted in your head before you hit the first stop sign on your path, and no one's done a thing. But we can do that. The power of our mind can be elating, or it can be suffocating. But you choose that, right? The choice is yours. So there you go. I hope that I helped you in some way. If you need a private reading, please reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to help you with anything. Okay, thank you so much.